the same story I gave the previous set of detectives.
I know Lewis is innocent.
They got the same story, but they were not happy with the story that they got.
Authorities in Oakland, California are searching for clues in the case of missing 5-year-old Hasanni Campbell, who is disabled with cerebral palsy.
He is last seen by his foster father, Lewis Ross, when he leaves Hasanni behind at the back door of an Oakland shoe store to let him in from the inside and meet his foster mom.
Within a few minutes, the aunt, Jennifer Campbell, says she opened the door, but Hasanni was gone.
And I thought maybe he was hiding behind something, or maybe he was scared, or maybe it was something. I say, what do you mean? Where's Hasanni? And I look around to the side, and he's no longer there.
Police searched for 6 hours, but they say there were no witnesses who could place Hasanni behind the store other than Ross.
We are taking your calls to Maria in Texas. Hi, Maria.
Hello, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good, dear. What's your question?
My question is, and actually I don't have a question, I just have a comment. We see this every single day. I watch the show all the time. All the time. What is going on with mothers not taking care of their kids? When my son was born, I didn't even let my husband take care of my child for like weeks. I didn't trust him because he would drop him, unexperienced parents. You find someone out there in the street, love is love, but your kids come first. Don't you do a background check? Don't you find out who they are? Why do you leave your kids with a stranger? I don't understand this. I see this all the time. I'm a single parent. Why is it that us as mothers, why don't we protect our children? And just,
you know what, Maria? I've asked that same question a million times, all the way back to when I was prosecuting as a local county prosecutor. I don't recall one case of child abuse or child molestation where the mother sided with the child. They were always siding with the father, the boyfriend, the live-in. Always. I never understood it. What about it, Dr. Leslie Austin? Why?
I don't know why, but it's incredibly irresponsible that people don't prepare and really watch their kids. I really wonder if that little boy was in the car that day at all. Why didn't anybody see him? I understand the mom was working, but why is there no trace, no sighting for 4 days, no video, no neighbors, no people in the store? How could he have been there? He's not very mobile. Why isn't everybody looking for him, noticing, looking out for a little boy who needs help to function?
Weigh in, Alex Sanchez.
I think that the police are very frustrated because this fella seems to be slipping through the legal cracks in the system. They're pretty much convinced that he's responsible for this child's disappearance. He failed a polygraph test. His story really doesn't make any sense about disappearing in a public area. And so the pieces have not come together yet, and unfortunately, they may never come together. I think the police made a mistake, though, by arresting him as early as they did, because once they arrested him, then he lawyered up, and he refused to speak to the police, and he moved away. And that may be the end of the case at this point, unfortunately.
And you know what, Alex? You brought up something very interesting. Let's bring up Alex and Daryl again. Alex Sanchez, New York, Daryl Cohen, Atlanta. What happened is they arrested him. Then 3 days passed. And let's explain the significance. Under our Constitution, it is being construed. You can't just arrest somebody on suspicion and then never formally charge them. You can't just hold them without a charge because you think, well, you know, maybe they did something. Explain it, Sanchez. You got a time limit.
Yeah, and they went and arrested him apparently without sufficient probable cause. And then the prosecutor looked at the case and said, hey, you know what? We really don't have enough evidence right now. And they had to release him. But during that span of time, he had a lawyer. And the lawyer told him, look, you may be a suspect. Don't speak to anybody.
I mean, Daryl Cohen, at the end of 72 hours, you either got a fish or cut bait, according to our Constitution as it has been construed.
You have to make the charge. So why in the world was there a rush to judgment? He wasn't going anywhere. They knew where he was. So why did the police do that? Because they knew he did something, but they couldn't prove it. And they needed to wait to be able to prove it.
To Sergeant Gus Galindo, Oakland PD, the cops, the FBI, you guys set up an FBI polygraph that he failed. Then he's moved across country. The reality is there's nothing you can do to stop him from moving across country.
That is correct, and you know, in our decision to make the arrest based on the investigative process at the time, we had developed information that led us to believe that the arrest was a proper step to take at that time in the investigation. So we did make the arrest, and the district attorney determined that there was insufficient evidence at that time to charge Louis Ross.